Hello, coaches! In today's episode, our panel of experts will share their responses to the question, what makes a coach invaluable to you? It was wonderful to hear all of the coaching success stories in all of these conversations, in particular hearing the different ways that coaching is invaluable to the different stakeholder groups, school leaders, teachers, librarians, and counselors, provides a great insight into what coaches do that is most highly valued by their colleagues. For coaches looking to truly level up their practice, this episode offers many great opportunities for inspiration. My name is Kim Cafino, and I'll be your host throughout the series. I've been an instructional coach in schools around the world for 20 years. I am passionate about the impact that instructional coaches can have on school culture, student learning, and teacher professional development, and I am so excited to share these conversations with you. We created this series to give you a window into our Eduro Learning the Coach Microcredential mentorship program. If you're ready to level up your coaching, our next cohort starts in April 2019 and registration is open now. Stay tuned after the video for more details and a free download to preview what you'll learn in this personalized coaching credential program. If you like any part of this series, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel to get all 8 videos in the series. Turn on notifications to be the first to see the next episode. Let's get started. What makes a coach invaluable to you? I think you've hit on this a bunch of different times, and maybe you have a couple thoughts about what makes coaches just great.
I want someone that I can go to and say, hey, I don't know what to do about this. What have you got? And to brainstorm ideas. For me, it's invaluable when a coach makes their own connections without me making it happen. As a teacher, I live by this philosophy, and I'm trying to live it as a leader, but ask for forgiveness, not permission. Like, I don't want to micromanage where your time is being used and where you are. Like use your time wisely, make a change, and ask for help when you need it. I think is really important. It's also the people. It really helps when the coaches are excited by learning and excited by it, and aren't afraid to say, I know quite a bit about this and I'm really excited to work with you. People need to be excited to work with the coaches. They can't feel like they're this is the tricky tightrope. They can't be patronizing, oh, I know so much more than you, but they also can't be self-deprecating, oh, I don't know anything about this or that program or that math. But so the people who can find that balance, it's like gold. And it's often about the enthusiasm to talk about learning, and then the coaching stuff kind of comes a second.
Someone who helps the leader get the school where we want it to be, that's one of those big vanilla generalization over, obvious things, but a leader is trying to get the school someplace. This leader has a vision of what a great school looks like. Is this person really helping us move forward in that? Are they like an invaluable, it sounds like a resource, or person, absolutely. But, are they invaluable in helping us move that way? Well, then that's a great coach. If we said, if that coach wasn't here and we're not going to miss them and we're not necessarily changing the dynamic of the school, that's too bad. We want coaches that make an impact, that make a difference in getting the school to where we want it to be.
Professionally, a coach is invaluable to me because it forces me to crystallize my thinking, to really, and it's almost like a self-indulgence, isn't it? Where you think, all right, I am going to just spend a little, it's like me time, isn't it? It's like an intellectual spa. So you get to have a little stop and think about, okay, why am I doing this? Why? It's all those good questions, reflective questions. So you're not doing things unintentionally on automatic pilot just because you've always done it. So professionally, I think that's fantastic, especially when you've been doing something a long time, and it's easy to fall into habits. So I think that's why it's so intellectually really interesting, because I force myself to think about process, but also, professionally it's really interesting. And so I think it's invaluable for that. And then sort of bigger picture, then in terms of sort of philosophically thinking about how I approach life and relationships, by giving myself the time to think about those things. It's just really healthy, I think. And then if I'm working with young people, if I can see the benefits of that, then I don't know by osmosis, but then hopefully I can encourage that type of self-worth, I guess. You're worth stopping and thinking about things. You're worth it. And so my conversations can be very much about that. As part of one of our book clubs here, which was actually through Tricia, I read the book Moments. I can't remember who it's by now, but in that, the whole book is around the premise of stopping and just creating a moment, like a celebration or an acknowledgement of something, and why that is so important to our psyche and our well-being, or to helping people move forward positively. And so maybe it's a little bit like that coaching. It can be that moment where you stop and you acknowledge, okay, this is important, your thoughts and your feelings are important, and it's going to have really concrete, profound effects on how you think, professionally and personally. I think that's why it's so useful.
One of the things that the coach has is like the home court advantage, right? It's proximity. And so if they are like available and responsive, almost going back to attachment theory for the counselors out there. But anyway, it's like if they're available and responsive to the needs at the time, well, then they will more likely be invaluable, right? And of course, that assumes that they have a fundamental area of expertise. If they're incompetent, well, then that would quickly surface. So look to the hiring people, like senior leadership team, make sure that you bring us good people, which they do, right? And so they have that basic skill set that they need. And then it's really the others, and it's those other skills that you were talking about, the soft skills of being available and responsive, like being like, when I go in there, it's like, I don't feel like, oh, you're here again with another problem. It's like, oh, awesome, you're looking to me to help. That feeling is really important. As we were talking a minute ago about where would we go if the coaches aren't available, the truth is that it's also a little bit of a capitalist market where we do have other options. So if we go down and we meet with our coach and they're difficult to work with, or they don't appear interested in helping me, or it's like it appears as if my request is a burden on their already very busy timetable, I'm going to go elsewhere, right? I will leverage other parts of my network to get the help that I need. And I will, as I go forward, it's like voice my concerns. Oh, I went and talked to them once, and that didn't really lead anywhere. And let people know that it's not really helping me do my job to have that person in the role that they're in. And what I feel really lucky about is that the coaches that I've had a chance to work with have all been just wonderful, really. It's like you go down, it's like, here's my thing. And it's like, it's not like, oh, you know what, could you please submit a support ticket on that one? I couldn't respond without a support ticket. It may be helped by doing a support ticket, but if that's the first response I get, it's like, yeah, all right, I could do a support ticket, but like maybe they could say something like, look, I think I've got some ideas for that. If you submit a support ticket and actually give me more specifics, then I'll be able to like actually come back with you with more refined suggestions. And it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm still going back and submitting a support ticket, but the first thing I got back wasn't like, oh, submit a support ticket and then we can talk. It's like, okay, yeah, all right. I think I know what you're kind of getting at. Give me some specifics to the support ticket, and then we go like that. It's those little subtle things make a big difference, especially with people like counselors who or at least should be fairly socially savvy. That kind of stuff matters to us,
For me, having a coach really helps to just keep pushing me forward. So there's always so many new things to learn and stuff, but I feel that having a coach helps focus me, direct me, keep me driven to where I'm trying to get to. It improves the effectiveness of my teaching. Really, it's as simple as that. And if my teaching is effective, then the student learning is more effective. And isn't that the goal for all of us, I think?
again, I think that's different for every person's needs. But for me, it's just holding me accountable. Like, I am a notorious procrastinator, very type B, big ideas. Let's try a million different things. And if they all fail, who cares? And I think my life is very sloppy. My professional life can be really sloppy. So my coach, her personality is like super type A, like, let's sit down, make some lists, let's get things organized. And just meeting with her every 2 weeks is like, okay, I know, when Anne-Marie comes in here, I better have my stuff together or I'm going to let her down. Right. And so that's been really useful. It's just someone who's going to make sense of kind of the mess in my head and organize it for me and then let me know kind of what I need to do. So for someone else, though, it might be the opposite. And they might be someone who's super type A and they have everything organized, but they have a real hard time coming up with ideas or generating, outside the box thinking. So that coach might play that role. So I think successful coaches are adaptable to kind of be the other, not other half, but fill a void that the coachee has. And that's been really, really useful. And I don't know, like one model we've done, because we kept saying, hey, JP's like in the next 2 weeks, you're going to work on these things, right? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then she'd show up and like none of it was done. So one of the models we came up with is, why don't we just use that time to do that stuff? So some weeks my coach will come in and she'll just sit and kind of work in the corner and I'll be working on things we're working on. And then I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm a little bit confused on why we decided to do this, or why do you think this might work out? Or do you have any resources? I'm kind of stuck here right now. And usually she's like, here's this reading book and this reading book. And what about this chart? You should think about this. And I'm like, yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I need. And I'll piece it together and keep going. So then when she leaves, it's like, okay, like not only did I learn something, not only did we have good conversation, I actually got that thing done. And I don't have it hanging over my head as I need to do that. So for me, that's been really useful. It blocks out time. Like it forces me to spend time doing something. And originally it was supposed to be time that I was supposed to carve out by myself, but I'm a bit incompetent and can't do that. So she forced me to use that time within our meeting. So that's been really good. Yeah, so short answer, I think coaches who are adaptable and fill the needs of their coachees, they become indispensable because you need them to kind of make your life easier and your teaching better.
Right. Well, we're all of us who are, in non-contact positions of one another. I see my role often as a fun collector, right? So in addition to collecting resources and stuff that helps, I'm also looking for what the newest stuff is and not just as a gimmick, but newest stuff that helps drive teaching, drive learning, drive units of inquiry and that sort of thing. And really, classroom teachers just don't very often have the time in their daily schedules, in their evening schedules, because they're decompressing from being around, 20, 30 people constantly all day long. So I think coaches similarly being able to help mine the internet for all of the gorgeous nuggets that are out there. And to be those early adopters that try things out, that take the risks and figure them out so that we can share them out. And that ends up, being something that a kid uses in exhibition that makes it rock,
Oh man, they just make me so much better at what I do. They make everything. I mean, if I didn't have coaches, all of my documents and things I created would be like in the original colors on Google Docs at the very top, like in a class. I know it's horrific in a classic color scheme. It would be so much text. I mean, all of my lessons would be scheduled for 15 minutes longer than they really needed to be and would run 30 minutes over what they were. I think that, one of the things that I had to get coaching on, I would say in the last 3 years, this year I'm mainly a secondary librarian, but in the last 3 years I was an ELC to grade 12 librarian. And I was constantly pitching my grade 5 lessons for grade 8 because I thought that was what grade 5 was going to be able to do. And so I actually found a person who was an elementary school teacher, not a formal coach by any means, but that would help me work through those lessons to make those better. So yeah, they just, they make me a more awesome version of myself, which is great because in the end, we're all in this for all of these kids that are here, right? Like, it feels good to be great. It feels good to walk away and be like, that was fantastic. I am a superhero. But the best part is that I leave and I'm like, and those kids actually know how to use the database now, or they're actually interested in reading this variety of books right now. And they're helping me reach a population of kids that I might never reach. Ooh, or like, tomorrow, we're doing Maker Saturday here again at YIS. And it's just the coolest day. We have this amazing Creative Commons space that Clint helped me design before he moved on to his next job. And it just looks so great. And several Saturdays a year, we bring parents and their kids together in the Creative Commons space. And we make and create, and we do everything from crafty things all the way up to really high-tech coding. It's incredible. And this is something that Matt and I would not be able to do independently in the way that we're doing it. So in that way, we're bringing our coaching skills together, and we've really been able to lift up the level to something that you couldn't have done individually. So I think that's what it is. And that's why coaching is cool, because you get to help people be that extra piece of awesome.
Thank you so much for watching our Eduro Learning Level Up Your Coaching series. If you like any part of this series, please give this video a like. It really does help out our channel. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to be the first to see the next episode. We want to hear from you. Do you have questions about instructional coaching? Would you like to see a specific educator featured in an upcoming interview? Do you have a great coaching story to share with us? Leave us a comment down below and let us know. If you are ready to level up your coaching, check out our website where we have over 20 practical, relevant, and engaging online courses designed by coaches for coaches. Our most in-depth program, the Coach Microcredential Mentorship Program, is exactly what you need to level up your coaching. You'll get 26 weeks of curated coaching content in our private online course forums, a private cohort of coaches to learn, share, and reflect with, and you'll even have your own private mentor for an entire academic year. Become a certified Eduro Learning Instructional Coach today. Go to edurolearning.com/coach to find out more. To get a sneak peek at what we offer, download our free 5 strategies for your coaching toolkit in the description box below.